Hello, and in this second video on the series showing how to set up TouchOSC to use with SonicPi, we're going to see how to transfer the screen which we set up last time into the OSC Touch program on the iPad, the TouchOSC program on the iPad, which has got this symbol down here on the screen. And if I tap that to start it up, it starts up in one of the first layout that it finds. This is one of the ones which comes with it, and you can use these of course with SonicPi, although the controls may not always be appropriate, but you can certainly have a play around with them. But in this case we're going to add the one that we've just designed, the simpler one, which is in the TouchOSC editor on my Mac. And to do that we click on this little grey button in the corner down here, and that takes us to a screen that shows something about the connections which are going to be used between the TouchOSC program on the iPad and SonicPi. The first thing it tells you at the moment is that the connections are going to be from the iPad to an IP address of 192.168.1.128, and that is in fact my MacBook Pro, and I'll show you where we can get the IP address of that very easily from SonicPi in the third video. But assuming that that is the case, if we click on this first line that says OSC, it opens up, and the first thing we can see is that it needs to be enabled if we're going to be able to send OSC messages from TouchOSC. So that's turned on. You might not have it turned on if, for example, you were just using TouchOSC to send MIDI messages and you weren't interested in any OSC messages going. But in my opinion, it's much easier to actually connect to SonicPi with OSC. It involves one less stage, because if you're using MIDI connections over Wi-Fi, you need to use a little app which is called TouchOSC Bridge, which is supplied with the editor, and this actually receives Wi-Fi MIDI messages and converts them as if they were coming from a local MIDI connection on your machine. But in this case we don't actually need that. So we can see the host address 192.168.1.128 up here, and below that it says port 4559, and that is in fact the port at which SonicPi is listening for incoming OSC sync messages, and we'll see that when we start up SonicPi in the third video. You can see also that we can have incoming messages coming back to TouchOSC, and we will actually use a couple of those in the program I'm going to develop, and I've just used the default port that they specify, which is 9000 here. And the other piece of information we will need in order to send OSC messages back is the local IP address of the iPad, and that's shown at the bottom as 192.168.1.240. So that's the information we need there. The TouchOSC Bridge, if we were going to use it, we need to make the network host address there be the address of the MacBook Pro, which is going to run the TouchOSC Bridge on it here, if we were going to use that, though we don't have to in this particular case. So how do we actually get our new program into this? First of all, I can see that there is one problem here. We've got a spelling mistake here, and if I just click to select the label we did last time, I can come down here and add the missing letter in there. Notice when I click it, it doesn't do anything until I click away from that and select another box, say this one up here, and then it updates that. And so we will just resave that in position. We just saved it last time as tester1. You can see the name up here, tester1.touchosc, and we're going to now send that to my iPad. Incidentally, at this stage it's perhaps worth saying that if you wanted to be able to look at this, if you come down to this folder here, which is inside my Documents folder, it's a folder called TouchOSC, which is where the templates that TouchOSC use are all stored. You can see there's quite a lot of them down here, including the one tester1 TouchOSC that we've just generated. And if I was to open this with a program on my machine called BB Text Edit, which is here somewhere. Let's just put those into alphabetical order. We need to view all applications, because it won't be necessarily a recommended one for this. BB text edit like that. Then you can see that when it opens it, it effectively, this is a zip file, although it's called tester1.touchosc, and it contains a compressed format, an index.xml file, which we can look at there, and that actually contains the information which we've set up. That's all the program is, and that's effectively a text file, so that can be freely distributed very easily on a website. And if anybody then gets it and downloads it and calls it index.xml, they can then compress it or zip it and call the resulting zip file or compressed file tester1.touchosc, and it can then be put into the folder that we've just looked at here, and it's then available to be sent from the editor to the iPad, which is here. Let's just get that shown on the screen again. There we are. And so we're just going to go back to this. At the moment we've got Automat shown, and if I was to click on that, we get a complete list of all the layouts which are available. You can see the Automat there is ticked, and what I'm going to do is, I think I've probably still got tester 1 here from a previous time, so the first thing I'm going to do is just to delete that, which I can do by going to here and then at the top of saying edit, and if we come down to it here, we will click on it and delete it. So we've got rid of tester, we've got tester 1, we've got tester there, which is a different layout. But now how do we actually add this in? Well, the answer is we click on the add button at the top here, and this is now waiting for a signal to come from the TouchOSC editor, which we do by coming up here and clicking on the sync button, and that starts broadcasting the fact that it's there. And you can see that it's come up on my iPad, Robin's MacBook Pro, that's me, and it says to sync that. So you now open the TouchOSC, navigate to Layout Add, select the machine's name from the list to download this layout. So we simply tap on this, and that's now saved it. And if we look at the bottom, we can see that we've got a file tester1, and here it is. We've just loaded it in. Tester1 is the local one, and if we say done, we can see that we've now loaded that into our machine. If we've edited it and we want to send it again, if we go back again to here and to layout, supposing you're editing as you go along, if we go straight away to add and we re-add it, this time it gives a warning because we're trying to save tester1 on top of tester1. Well, in this case it's okay because it's the same file. We've not changed it, and so there we are. We can go back here and there is our file. So at that stage we can stop syncing, and that completes the process of transferring the file that you have designed from the editor screen into the iPad, and it's now ready for us to connect to SonicPi, which we'll see in the third video. So thank you very much for watching this second one.